Guys, what's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today in this video we'll be completing the remaining part of the backend which we have done till the previous video, and in this video we'll be making some another routes for the cars, and after that we'll be moving on to the reviews and the uploading system. Like, we are going to upload the images onto the cloud. It would be a cloudery uh, service which we'll be using. And let me just tell you that I have the database which is open, and till now like, we have only created the user table, and inside that user table we have these are the columns, which are the IDs, full name, email, password, country and the role, as well as the phone number and the created at and updated at. So now I want you to visualize how the system is going to be. So as of now we only have the auth controller and user controller to sign up and log in and getting the user. And for these two we have this only for this auth we have this auth route, and we have included this auth route into this index route.js. We have also added the validation as a middleware for the validation of the sign up and for the validation of the login. Okay, and I hope you have got everything till the previous video. So let me just visualize you what I am going to build for the backend. So this is the website you can refer to, which is the dbdiagram.io, and you can paste some schema which has some a different kind of syntax, which you can whatever the schema you are using. Let's say you are using the SQLize or Prisma or even the SQL queries, just give it to the ChatGPT or any AI tool that will create this kind of a structure for you. It will also add the relationships based on how you are defining it, like user is related to this user ID and so on and so forth. Let me just tell you that how many tables are going to be there and how much relation they are having together. So first of all, let me just show you the user table. So I'm just going to give you the summary that this is the user table and how it is connected to others. So this is connected to this liked car. So we are going to get to know that, hey, this user has this particular car, and this liked car also has the reference of car ID and user ID. So basically the bookmarking system is going to work in this way. And as well as the car availability, if you see that the car is going to get available by this particular table. So as a vendor who is going to put the car's start date and end date, that is how user is going to be able to book that particular car based on the start date and end date. So there are the logics which will be included in the backend. And this is the brand table, because I have created a brands separate table, so that I don't want that cars can be created by just putting the details in the form. No, it should not happen that way. I wanted that brand should be listed before even car getting created, so that the vendor will have a good grasp. So hey, this car is Mercedes, so we are going to tie it up with this particular brand. So this is Mercedes AMG. So something like this I'm going to make. As well as this the review table, which is linked to the user ID. So we are going to get to know that, hey, this car has a user and this user has given a review for this particular car. So a user has given a review to this particular car, so it is linked in this way. As well as the notification table, so we are going to get to know that, hey, this notification belongs to this car. So any vendor is creating any car and that car is getting booked, so which user has booked that particular car, we are going to send the push notifications via the mobile application. And then we have this notification linked to this user as well. Okay, if you can just move this, it will also get moved. Okay, and the next thing, which is the booking part, that let's say user A has booked this particular car. Okay, let me just move this. Okay, so this is now see, so this is the particular user, and if you see, that this particular car has the owner ID. Okay, let me just zoom in. Okay, so this is the owner ID and it is now blinking it. Okay, so this user, so there are two types of user. One is the user who is going to book the car, another user which is going to upload the car. So there will be two roles. If you see, we have the roles in the database, which is the user, and we have that for the vendor as a vendor role. So the user role and vendor role. So this car is uploaded by this user. Okay, so this is the one part. But let's say the one user has uploaded a car and the second user which has a type as a user. If you see, we have this user, admin and super admin. So admin is basically a vendor. So user 1 has uploaded a type of car, user 2 is going to upload that a type of, like, book the a type of car. So this user goes and basically books a car. So we have this bookings table. So if you see that user, now the second type of user has a booking. If you see, the bookings table contains the user underscore ID. So I am going to get to know that, hey, the second user has booked this particular car which has this particular car ID. Okay, so this is how we'll get to know, as well as that booking will be linked to the payments and that payment will contain the booking underscore ID. So this is how we are going to get to know that, hey, the payment has been pending, successful or confirmed. Okay, so there will be types of payments. Let's say user goes for the payment but payments does not get success, so that time the booking is now into the pending state. We are going to apply the statuses. As of now the status is varchar, but maybe we could include the enums for that by deciding the logics. Okay, there will be pickup location, drop off location, and the pickup and drop off date, total price, and so on and so forth, like payment status, booking status. Two are different statuses. So there will be status for the payments, because payment might get pending, successful, cancelled, rejected. Okay, and apart from this, booking is also based on the payments. Booking status will be pending, confirm, something like this. And I think we have covered like everything in the tables. Brand is covered. Okay, the location is pending. Okay, so in the location, what I have done is that, let's say that we are uploading a car and I am putting the location by my hand just randomly, and I mistype the state name to some other state. Let's say the two state has same name but just one spelling of difference. So that makes no sense, right? So in this case, what I'm going to do is I have another table which is location. So while creating the car, you just have to pick the location from the drop down. You're not going to enter the location manually, but in order to pick the location from the drop down, if you cannot find your location, then you are going to create one location, and in that location form you'll put the city, state, country, as well as lat long, which we will be taking it from the precise location of the user's current location. Okay, so if he is making that uploading the car from the admin panel, we are going to use his current location. So that's how we are going to get the details of the lat long, as well as we'll be definitely getting the city and state and country. And that's how that particular user, which is the admin or the vendor, will create a location. From the drop down, that user will pick the brand from the drop down as well as location from the drop down, and that's how he'll be able to name the car, sub info, features and price, and so on and so forth. Also there will be a car availability. If you see, it is linked, so user will also have to type, hey, that this car is available from June 1 to June 30. And in the meantime, if there are two bookings, we also have to add the logic for reducing those particular days for that booking. And then we have to check that user will be able to book the car. So if the car is overlapping the bookings date, we should be showing the message to the user that the booking is not available for this particular date. And also we are going to give a one calendar. Inside that there will be block date for the bookings and the available dates for. So these are the logics which will be giving to the users. So I think I'll be giving this link in the description. If you can't see, just see this link and you can open this, but it will be not editable for you because I think it is my own logged in, so you cannot edit, but I think you can definitely view it. So yeah, this is it for the structure of the backend. Let's move on to the next part, and I'm going to create one schema first, and that schema will be going uh, to like for a car. Okay, so I think we have covered the user model. Now I'm going to create a schema for the cars, because now a user should be able to like get the car. So if I have to like say, then we have to make one car route. So that is how we are going to get all the cars. So for that we need a cars table, and for that particular table I'm going to create one model. So the model will be a car, a small case, and then there will be ID, no any colons, it will be a type of string. Let me just add this string, and it will be, I'm just going to copy this because we are not going to waste our time. So let's save the file and move, and there will be a name. I'm going to copy this. So a car will be having a name, so let me just add this, and it will have the sub info. Also it will have feature will be a JSON, because let's say a car has three features: electric, like two seaters, and let's say any kind of other features. Okay, like say, let's say horsepower or something. So that will be a feature of a particular car. Let's say one car has 6 features. In this case we are going to keep this as a JSON so that it is user configurable. So this is how he will be able to configure the features in the form of JSON. And now let's say that car is owned by someone. So in that case I'm going to have owner ID. It will be type of string, and not only string but a default will be unique ID, something like this. Let's save this, and now let's add the owner will be a type of user. I'm going to add one relation here, and that relation will have one fields, and now I'm going to add a owner ID. Okay, also I'm going to give a references as like ID. Let's save this, and as you see that it is also suggesting this error validating line is not valid for an attribute definition. Let me just see it, what is happening here. I think we have messed up for that. Let me just do this, and the owner ID here. Okay, so we have given two braces instead of one, and in the relation I think yeah, this one is, we have given extra braces. Okay, if I see it, then owner ID is okay, references is okay, and yeah, now it is okay. Okay, so now if you see the user, we also need to add one relation for this user, which is the car. Okay, because it is related to each other, I'm going to add it something like this. Okay, and then I think we are having some error in this line as well. So let me just see it. Owner is having a type of user, and then relation will be fields. Okay, the two colons were there, so that's why they were giving the errors. So now it is linked, so car is also linked to the user, is also linked to the car, and it is having the reference of the user's ID. So now the car will also be having a brand, so I'm going to create a model for the brand. So model brand. Okay, and inside the brand I'm going to add one ID for that particular brand. As we have discussed in that DB diagram IO, I'm going to go in that flow. So let's add the name. and let's add a type string. It should be a unique one. Add the media, and media is going to be JSON, because let me just tell you that media is what is the media. So media is basically an object which will be containing the images of the particular let's say in this case it's brand. So they will be having the logos for the Mercedes, Porsche, let's say Ferrari, or any kind of brands. So those logos will be containing in the media. Also in the media we are not just going to give the links, but we'll be compressing it in a form that will be having three keys like small, medium and large, as well as the thumbnail for the thumbnails, and whichever link we are going to use, we can use it according to us. And then I'm going to link this or give a reference of a car, okay, like this. Now I'm going to use the brand ID. So the brand ID is a type of string, not an optional. So let me just add, see, brand is here it's optional, so no, here is it's not optional. Let me add the, I think, relation. Brand ID is a not a relation because it is ID, so it is a default. And let me just give a default value as a UUID, okay. And then let's add a price. A car will be having a price, so the type will be a float. Price can be into after decimal, the price could be. So the default here I'm going to give it, now it is 0.0, just default. The initial will be 00, but definitely initial will never be 0, because once a user is uploading, in the case of this is the vendor, so he will definitely not keep the price 0. So the next part is the definitely media. I'm going to just pick one and paste it over here, but it's not optional in this case. And then there will be a location ID, let's say, because we are having a reference of the location ID in this car. So now it will be a default, and the default will be UUID. Also let me just save this and add the location, and the location will be having a type of location. Let me just tell you that it will be having a type, so we need to add one type for that location. So let's add that. I'm going to add it before this model, so location, and I'm going to just copy this and paste it over here. So the city will be a type of string, and then let me just copy this and let me just add state, country, and then latitude, longitude, and also one reference of car, okay. Now it is created, so I'm just going to give the name which is location, and let me just give here location, okay, something like this. And let me just add one relation, and it will have one fields, and that will be a location ID. It is now suggesting it, so it's good thing. So reference will be ID. So just move for the next part, which is the created at, and now it will be a type of date time, and the default will be, see, whenever it is getting created, so that time is now. Even if you are into US or UK, it will pick their own time, so created at that particular time. So now the updated will be not the same. Updated, it will be also date time, but it's not going to be the now, okay, because it is updated. So based on the API call we should do that. So there are also reviews and the car availability, but I think as we move further we can add it, okay. Or let's say we can just give the reviews and okay. So let's do one thing. We'll like add those in the later, but we can just use these things to add the car. So let's make the API for the car route. Okay, so let's add one route for the car dot route dot js. So let me just rephrase this. So this is the car, this is the model of for the location, this is the model for the brand. We are having the reference in this car table. So we are going to later on, we are going to add here car availability and the reviews. Let me just run the migration. If you go to the package JSON, you will see this command. You just need to run this and just keep eye on here. It will generate some folders and files, and it is nothing but just SQL files. So just see here what I'm going to do. Look in the package JSON, npm run prisma and then migrate, and then it should run the migration, and yeah, your database is in sync, and you can see that the migration is now ready for the cars. And if I just go to the database, let me just show you that we had only user. If I just go and just to refresh, we have the 5 tables including the brand. For the brand, let me just show you I think columns. No, we have to go all rows, and then you can see the brand, which is ID name media, and we have another table for the location. Let me just show you the cars table quickly, and this is the cars table. So now we need to fill the information over here. So for that we need to create some APIs. So let's add the APIs for it. So I'm just going to click here and the copy, because I'm not going to waste some time. Just copy paste and then just remove this and add one route. Okay, so first of all I'm going to create one API for the getting the cars, and for getting we don't need any kind of validation. I'm just going to create one API for the get all the cars. So for that I'm going to add one controller, car, let's say car controller .js. Okay, and in that particular file we are going to create one controller function. Again, I'm not going to waste time, so let's just copy, come over here and paste it, and then over here we can write get all cars. Okay, I'm not going to use this, but this I will be using. And over here we are going to create one service. So that service file will be giving us a particular that cars. So inside the service, come over here and just type car service.js. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go over here and just copy paste it, so it will not take much of our time, and I'm going to rename this as, let's say, get all cars. Okay, get all cars service. So the naming convention that we are using, that we are putting this suffix like service after the name. So I'm going to give this service name. So this is for getting all the cars. And now what I'm going to do, as it is the get API, so there will be no any parameters that we'll be getting, and we are going to await Prisma. It should suggest us cars. Okay, so this is the cars, and now because we are finding all of the cars which are available, so we are going to use a method which is find, and find will be a many find. Okay, and now I'm just going to delete this kind of this part and just delete this, and now inside this curly braces I'm going to use this include keyword. So what it does, it basically gives us access that what should we include and what should we not. So let's say that there is this thing called as brand, and if I just do false, so if I have any brand keyword in my backend, so it will not return me in the that API, so the brand will never return. So but I need a brand, so I'm going to just include true. okay, and it is not a compulsory that you should include only. If you do not just include, like if you don't write this, so it will give you all the records that you need, but there are some things that I don't need, so that's why I'm writing include. So now I need a owner ID. If you see owner, okay, so owner is an object, but let me just see that why it is not suggesting us the owner ID. So let me just go to the Prisma, and let me just go to the schema, and let's see that if it is having owner ID. Yeah, we are having the owner ID. So now I'm going to write here owner, and it is also suggesting us. So inside that owner object, what do we need? So there we also get a select. So in the select, I'm going to add ID. So in this case, I need the ID, I need a full name of the owner, and I also need email. So I'm going to make it true. So if it is done, so let's minimize this. And reviews, I think we don't have it yet, so we'll skip the review part and we'll fill the cars data. And now what we are going to do, let's return something, right? So inside the return statement, I'm going to write car dot, like here we have to write the car instead of existing, like it will be a car, so I'm going to write cars, and then I'm going to map this, and let's get the car out of it, and let's destruct const and destruct car. Okay, and let's just see if we get some. Okay, liked car. Okay, I think we do not have that liked car over here. If you can see in the Prisma, we don't have any liked car as a key yet, so I'm just going to return all of the cars. So let's just return the cars. Okay, so get all cars service is now done, so it should return us the cars, all of the cars that we are wanted. So now let's add the car controller. I think we have already added it over here. So instead of this, I'm going to call get all car service, and inside it we do not need to pass anything, it will be handled by itself. So in the success response, I'm going to pass this cars, and over here I'm going to pass this cars, and cars fetched successfully. Okay, success fully, and over here it will be gone the response. Yeah, so now it should work basically. If you go to the car route, then over here I'm going to call that controller, so it is get car controller. Okay, and if you see the auth route, so there should be some meaning to this route, because we are going to include this inside the index. Okay, so what I'll do, instead of post, let's add this get first. Okay, and now let's include it into the index file. I can also write here /cars, but let me just tell you how I'm going to do it. So just drag this down, and let's let them use this route, which is cars, and over here I'm going to add our car routes. Okay, similarly we have this auth route, so I'm going to include this car routes, and over here let's add the /car route.js, and over here we have this token validator. Okay, for the validation of the token, so let's just add it over here so that it will get validated before even we hit this API. So let's open the Postman and check this out, like how it is going to work. So I have this Postman collection, let me just explain it to you. So you can click on this new collection, just click on the get request, and let me just start this server first so all you people can see it. So now I'm going to start this npm run dev. So the server is running on the port which is 3000. So once I hit a URL localhost 3000/cars, Okay, you can see that now it is giving me that cannot get cars. So let me just see it, that what is the exactly issue. So server is running on the port 3000, and it is like rendering this particular file, and let's see what is happening. So when let's add http colon slash slash and just see it. Okay, I think we are missing the API slash cars. Okay, because we have added this API route, so it will it is using already all the routes, so API slash auth API slash cars. So now it is giving you the message which is no token provided. So if you see that get all cars, let me just go to the index.this. If you see that we have used the authenticate, okay, so this function is basically validating the token, so we have not provided any token. So how we are going to provide the token? Inside the header and inside the authorization. Okay, over here we have to like JWT error, we have to add one secret over here. Okay, so that token, once we add it over here, it will get work properly. And before that I need a token. I'm going to use a post request over here. Let me just copy this, paste it over here, add auth for authentication, and I'm going to use a sign up API over here, so it will give me some things that I require. So click on the raw, open the braces, and just type full name. In my case it is John, let's say. Let's add email john@gmail.com. Let's add another one which is country and the phone India, and phone number also. I think it is now done. I think the password is also missing. Let me add the password. So in my case I'm just going to keep it 1 2 3 4 5 6. So it will show you that the user is created, and I'm going to use now this API. Let's just use the third one, and for the post, for the login, okay, for sign in, and I'm going to use whole request body to get the token. Over here I'm not going to pass full name, not going to pass the country, as well as the phone. So let's just hit it, and it is showing cannot post sign in. So let me just see what is happening. Auth route, okay, it's actually a login route. It should be sign in, but let's add the login. Okay, so it has given us the token. If you see over here, we have got the token. So come over here and add it. Like, see, secret is used to create while the JWT and algorithm. I think we need to use basic auth. Let's say bearer token, yeah, this one. So let me just put this out, and let me just hit it. Okay, so now it is working properly. True, cars fetched successfully, the data is null. So now the data is null. Let me just go to the cars, this particular table, something like this, and let me just add 1 or 2 rows for you people so that you all can see it. Once you click on this row, it will add 1 row. So inside this ID, let's just type some random ID. Okay, so name will be, let's say, car name, basically AMG, and let's say subinfo AMG, Mercedes, like this, and let's say feature, it will be a type of JSON. So I'm going to add, let's say, electric, yes, HP, let's say 5000, and I think 2 are enough for now. Let's add OK. So let's add the OK now. Owner ID. So the owner ID will be of a type, it should be matched with the user. I'm going to click over here and just find that owner. So I'm going to add the owner as my ID and paste it something like this without the codes. Click on OK and the brand ID. Okay, so in order to add the brand ID, the brand should be created first. So let's just go into the brands table, because we cannot just put any random ID over there. So let's add one ID. So in my case I'm going to modify this ID as a 4 and the final will be 5. And let's add the brand. In this case I'm adding Mercedes, and inside the JSON, as of now I'm just going to keep it null, because in the later part there will be thumbnail and it will be a URL. Okay, and there will be some other ones like small and medium and large. Small URL, so image size will be small basically. So, and once you are done with this, you just have to click on save changes, and once you go over here, so now I need this ID. Once I click this, so this is the brand ID that I need. So just go to the cars, and over here you just have to paste it so the relation is linked. I'm doing it manually just to see that this API is fetching real cars, so that we can work on the add cars API. Inside that we are going to add the Cloudinary and Multer. So the price of this car, as of now I'm just going to keep, let's say $50,000. Okay, and the media part, as I've already told you, let me just go and copy. It is now, as of now it is dummy, but in the coming like an hour I'll explain you what it is. So also it is asking the location ID. So now I'm going to add one location, and for the location ID what I'll do, similarly I'll just copy this ID, go to the location, and just going to change this to the 9, and let me just add a city. So in my case it is Pune, and the state, I live in MH, and in the country I live India. Okay, and let's say lat, I'm just going to go with one random 18 point something something, and the longitude will be, let's say 43.5 something. Okay, so let's save this, and I need this ID now. Let me just copy and come over here, paste it something like this, and created at will be, let's say let me just first save it, I don't have the time. So updated at while it's not null. Okay, so for the updated at and created at, what I'm going to do is go to the users table, okay, in the all rows, and there you will see this timestamps. Just copy this and come to this part where we have the created at and updated at, and over here let's add just modify the time. So I'm just going to keep a 20, and just click on the OK, and also over here just add 23. Okay, so let's save this and see how does it works now in the Postman. So once I hit this, so now it is like giving us the data of the car. So if you clearly see that what we have done in our API and what we are doing on the Postman, how it is different. Okay, so let me just bit of zoom out so that you can see it properly, and let me just go to the car routes, get all cars and car service. Over here I have included the brand and the owner. Okay, so let me just go. If you see that data is in the form of JSON, so it has given us the all the cars name info, so with the feature as well, because I have added that feature, it has given the owner ID, the brand's ID, as well as it has given us the media, the location ID. Also it has given us the brand, also it has given us the owner. So if you clearly see that two things are redundant here, and one of them is, let's say I have the owner. In this case I've already have the owner and the owner ID. So owner ID I'm already getting it. Okay, inside the brand I'm also getting the brand and I'm also getting the ID. So let's say now I have the IDs of these two, but I don't need this object because I have the reference of the ID. I can call the API of get the brand and get the owner whenever I need. So the data, calling the the API, the cost will get reduced. So inside this, what I can do, I can just say that hey, brand false and the owner false. Okay, something like this. And let me just explain you what happens now. The brand and owner, it will not like fetch. Now it is only fetching brand ID and the owner ID. That's it, simple. So once I do this, now it something works like this. Okay, so in case also that I don't need the media, so I can also do it. Let me just add media. Let's add false. Okay, so media will also be gone from here. And let's say I don't want the brand ID in this owner ID, but I need the brand's object and owner's object. So in that case, I'm just going to say that hey, brand, you are true. Okay, owner, you are also true, I need you. Media, you are also true, but the owner ID, I don't need you. The brand ID, I don't need you. And just hit enter. Let me just go and see what is happening. Only accept relational fields. Okay, so this owner and the brand, if we do not even write this, I think it is object, so we needed to give the select and the the inside part. So the brand, it has fetched. Okay, if you see inside the brand we have the media as well for the brands, but I think the owner, I think we need to make this OW owner has true. I think it will again throw the same error. No, now it has not thrown the same error. Okay, inside the owner it is giving everything, but I need ID, full name and only email. So let me just modify this something like this. So let's add select, and what we need, ID. Okay, we need the full name, okay, as a true, and we need the okay, I think we need the email of that user. And this is how we are going to get the owner ID. And I think brand, we can fetch the media as well, but in case we do not want to fetch that, we can modify this to similar like this, like select, let's say ID, I need it as a true. I need let's say I need the name. I think that's it. So true. In this case, if you do not need the image. So similarly, we can like just define that what we need, what we do not, and it will fetch it, something like this. So kind of like you are having the command over the calling the database API. So yeah, this is how it works. Now we are going to make the add car API. Inside that we are going to add the multer and the cloudinary. So let's move on to that part now. So we have done this, okay, by adding data, like by filling the data into the tables. So we basically went to the cars table and we filled the data manually. Okay, but now we don't want to fill the data manually. We don't want to create the JSONs every time. So for this we need to make an API, and that API, let me just take this over here so all you people can see it. So we need to make an API to add the cars. So what I'm going to do inside here, okay, this is the index and it is already calling the cars. So when I went here, I'm going to make another route, okay, and let me just tell you that we are already using the authenticate over here. So it's already saying that hey, do you have a token? If the token is invalid, then it will throw error. If it is valid, then it will give access to cars route. And I'm going to make over here, which is add. Okay, it could be anything as per your choice, like add -car is also fine, but we are already having a cars keyword over here, so I think that only add keyword is fine. So now to add, I need a controller. So let's make the controller first. We'll go to the controllers and just copy and paste it over here. Now because we don't want our time to get waste, so I have done this. But instead of get all cars, I'm going to rename it add car, because a card is a singular, it's not cars, so it's now renamed as car. And over here I'm going to add one thing, which is the data. Okay, because we are already getting our data from request.body. Okay, you can also like pass this to the service, but there is something that I need to pass, which is body is not having, and that is user ID, and it will get to us in request.user ID. And how this request ID we are getting, let me just tell you. The moment user is passing the token, we get that over here in authenticated middleware. So it is a middleware where this is just a simple function which uses the JWT to verify the user's token by putting the JWT secret that we passed it while encrypting it. So now it is just verifying it, and the decoded info we are passing it to the request dot user ID. So if let's say user request is a object, so we are just adding one key to that request object, and that key will be decoded info dot user ID. So we are just passing the user ID, and we are just using this next from the express. So now in the car routes of get all cars, we are getting this user ID. So I need to pass this data to the service, but instead of successfully, I'm just renaming it added car successfully. Okay, so I think it is double C and double S. So I think above, yeah, okay, now it is fine. And over here I'm going to add one service to add the car. Okay, so we should be doing this in the service file. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it over here, rename it as add car service. Okay, and Prisma will suggest you prisma.car. Instead of find many, we are going to use a method which is create. So while the time of creating, you don't need these necessary fields. You are going to just return it whatever you are creating. So in this case I'm going to return this whole thing, and over here you just write data keyword key, and over here I'm going to write a name, but let me just add the data, and over here we are going to write data dot name, and then subinfo will be data dot subinfo, and features. So let me just see if it is a feature or features. Go to the Prisma and see if it is feature. Okay, so we have renamed it like feature. I think it should be features because the car has particular features. Okay, so it is not a singular. So what I'll do, I'll just write it features, and now it should give suggestion. So it is not giving a suggestion, so let me just see. So we have renamed this to the feature. So let's run one migration, npm run Prisma. Okay, now let's see if it has, yeah, now it is giving us suggestion. So it is features. So now remember one thing guys, that we have run only Prisma, so it will not migrate the it will not reflect to the SQL database. In order to reflect this key into the database table, what we need to do, we need to run the migration file like this command prisma migrate. So it will make another folder, and inside that it will have one script of the SQL query that will rename the feature to features. So let's add the data dot features, add the price data dot price, and over here add the media, and okay, we are just adding, so we can add the media in the JSON format. So I'm going to add media, but let me just tell you that the media will be coming from the Cloudinary. The URL will be coming from there by uploading the image. I'll show you that as well. As well as the owner ID. So let's say I'm uploading, so my user ID will be definitely an owner ID. So in this case it's going to be the user ID which I am passing from here. So whoever is using this API, that is already an owner. So now the next part is the brand ID. So definitely we'll be creating one brand, and that will be an ID we'll be using over here. Also the location ID, and it will be data dot location ID. Simple. So let's test this API then. Okay, open the Postman which you have. Let me just, yeah, let's add another request. Click add request, and let me just rename this add car. So let's copy this URL and paste it over here, and yeah, it is the add car. So let's add the post. Don't forget to add the token, because the moment we hit, it should give us an error. For first of all, it will check the validation, and once we are filling it, okay, so it is for the login, I think API/car/add. So now it is saying that no token provided. So let's provide that basic auth bearer. Yeah, enter the value and just hit. So cannot post cars, it's telling us. Okay, let's just see. I think we have some missed. Okay, over here instead of get, we need to add a post. So now it is telling us that, hey, Prisma car find many feature does not exist in the current database. Can you see this error? It is because of the, we renamed the feature to the features, but now it is not reflecting in the database. If you see, let me just see, show you over here. Over here you can see the feature column is there, but it is not features. What is it telling? That Prisma car find many car.features does not exist in the current database. Why? Because we just changed. Okay, over here we just changed. Okay, we have changed feature to features, and we did not run the migration file, like the script. Let's run npm run migrate. It should create one migration file over here, and then you will get to know that how it is going to add or rename the column name. So it is this command. Just copy this npm run and migrate. Now it is showing one error that, let's see, step 0 added required column features to the car table without a default value. There are one row in this table. It is not possible to execute these steps. You can use Prisma migrate dev create only to create the migration file and manually modify it to the address the underlying issues. Okay, so what it is telling you that then run the Prisma migrate dev to apply it and verify it works. So let's copy this command. Okay, so it will create the migration file. Let me just run this npm run Prisma. Okay, so now it has created something. If you see, generated client, start by importing. Okay, create only. Now it is saying that now run Prisma migrate dev to apply. Npm run Prisma migrate dev. Let me just see it if they have changed the cars column name for the features, because it is important for your information. So it is still not affected. So what we can do is, it is already created manually by us, so we can just take this and just delete it and save the changes. Now run the Prisma migrate. Now it should do the changes. So you can see that the file is generated for the cars table and the column is features, and it was earlier a feature. So now when I refresh this, let me just go and refresh this and run this, like open it, and you can see that the feature over here, okay, it is renamed now. So now we can use the API. Hit it. Yeah. So if you see that it is still using cars fetch successfully because we have not pointed it to the main service file. Let's do it now. Go to the car routes and get all cars. Yeah, it is still using get all service. So we need to use add car service, something like this. And let me just you know add some, we can add the validation as well. So something like, middleware, we have this auth validation, so we can also add the car validation. Okay, but let's hit the API first. Yeah, it is still showing cars fetch successfully. Add car service, get all car service, add car service. Yeah, now it is good. So we can like hit this. It is still hitting this cars fetch successfully, and now we have to add this add car over here. Add car. Now hit enter. Okay, so now it is showing one error that this information they are requiring it. So just one by one add the request body, and over here let's add the name. Okay, for the car's name I'm going to add, let me just add AMG. Let me add 545 845 and then sub info. Okay, a sports car by Mercedes, and over here we need to add the features, and I'm going to add this let me just add is electric. It would be a boolean, so let's just true. HP, let me just add 500, let's say, or 5000. Yeah, the feature is now enough. Let me just move for the price part. So price will be, let's say, $50,000, and let me just add media. So it will be a type of JSON basically. Thumbnail will be, and the next part, let me just create another key, owner ID. So owner ID will be automatically getting via token, so no need to worry. We need to add a brand ID. If we go to the brands table, we need this ID over here. Click on the add and just copy this. Just cancel this and add over here, and now add location ID. And again go to the location table over here and then see for the ID of that location. Yeah, cool. We need to just write this location ID and just see name is already there. Now hit it. See, now it is showing one error. Okay, created at and updated at is missing. So let me just go. I think that created at will be like should be there when the car is getting created, so it should be handled automatically via Prisma. Let me just go in the Prisma. In the over here, if you see, default is now, so basically it should work properly. Okay, it is date time and default is now. So let me hit it. Okay, so updated at date time. Okay, updated at is missing. Let me add updated at. Let me copy some, this date, and let's go to the users basically, and let's see if we have any kind of date. Yeah, we have the timestamp for this. Let me add it into the postman now. Hit enter. Updated. Okay, still it is showing us that same error. Updated invalid Prisma. Okay. Okay, let me just see it. Copy is missing. Okay, I think we have not added it over here, which we have to add because we are passing it from there. Updated at and data dot updated at. I think it should work now. Price invalid value provided. Okay, it was expecting a float, but provided was non, it is string. So now it is expecting invalid value for the argument. Okay, so new date. Yeah, can we now just remove this updated at? I think we do not need it. Okay, so as you can see that the car is added successfully. Okay, it is also returning us the brand ID and the owner ID and the media for the car. If I just refresh this in the let me just remove this and this, and let me just come to the car and just refresh this whole table. Okay, and just go to the car and view all rows. As you can see that it's now added without any issue. So we can like fill the data via postman multiple times. In this time, like let me just change the name. We can just like write any name, let's say S class. Okay, a comfort car by Mercedes, and now the HP is, let's say, 4000, and the price is, let's say, this, and let me just add it. Okay, we can add it twice as well. So let me just remove this, come over here and click over here and just say. So now the cars has been like added successfully. Let's go to the postman and hit the get API. Let me just rename this collection request. It is get cars. Okay, so now if you see that we are getting the cars via get API. So as of now we have created add cars, getting all the cars, but there is some catch, and that catch is that where is the image, this media. So we are just putting the dummy text, but we need that the photo should be uploaded and should be coming to this media. So let's do that now. So now what you need is, while adding the cars, we were only adding the media as a dummy. Okay, for this thumb we had the dummy URL which we created manually, but now there is something which we need to use, which is called as Cloudinary. And let me just see if we have installed it or not. Yeah, we have installed the Cloudinary, which we require. Multer, which we also require. I'm going to install I think we don't need multi storage right now. I'll tell you when we need it. Okay, and now the thing is that I'll take you to one website, and there, let me just tell you. So it is the console.cloudinary.com. Okay, so this is the a site similar to like a cloud storage, similar to like S3 of Amazon. So here basically you can do the setup. One setup you need to do, and once you do that particular setup, then you can upload your local images to this cloud. So let's add the things that we need to do. Okay, so let me just close this migration, and let me just go to the DB. Let me just close this, and inside the SRC I'm going to like create one folder which will be a config. Okay, and inside that config I'm going to create cloudinary.js. okay, so now once we write this file cloudinary.js, so we need to add some imports. So I'm going to add something from cloudinary, and that something will be v2 as cloudinary, and then import dot env from dot env, and then just enable this config dot env dot config, and let's configure cloudinary dot config, open the brace, cloud name. Okay, and the cloud name should come from process dot env dot this cloudinary cloudinary cloud name. Okay, and then API key, it should be process dot env, and then dot cloudinary. Let me just rename to API key, as well as API secret we need. I'm going to add process dot env dot cloudinary, the capital one, something like this, and API ret. Okay, so now we have configured it. So make sure that you have this cloudinary cloud name, cloudinary API key, cloudinary API secret inside your env. Okay, so now that the cloudinary configuration is now done, so we will be moving to the next part, and that is the adding the images into this particular folder. So whenever we are uploading a folder to the let's say image files to the cloudinary, so before that what we do is, let's say that you have 5 images inside your folder, and let's name that folder as a downloads. So you have downloads folder, inside that 5 images are there. But what it does is that before uploading those 5 images to the cloudinary, what it does is it basically takes those images into this folder, this car app backend project. It will add those images into one particular folder, and then from that folder it will take the reference, and then it will upload to the cloudinary. I hope you get my point. Okay, and for this, for doing these things, we need a package, and that is the path package. I think we have multiple, but we need a path package. Okay, so I am installing that. Also we need the fs package, and I'm adding that as well. Let me just go and refresh. Okay, and let me just tell you that this cloudinary name, API key, and secret, you have to create it. Go to the cloudinary, create your free tier from there. Okay, so let's create one file, and let me just tell you that it is going to be one middleware. So inside the middleware folder I am going to create one file, and let me just name it. Okay, auth validation is there, auth middleware is there. Okay, so I'm going to create one middleware, and that is upload.js. Okay, so let's add the import multer from multer, and then import path from path, import fs from fs. Okay, so default export, and then import something like something from URL. Okay, so it should give you that. Let me just see if we have that URL inside the package JSON. URL, okay, we don't have, it's taking by default. Okay, so let's add URL, and then you have to add file URL to path. So you have to configure the directory name. dir name is equal to path dot directory name, and file URL to path. I'm just going to import the meta dot URL. Okay, and let me just console so we can just see what is getting log. So it's the multer, and let's add the upload dir or d capital, and I'm going to join the path of this particular directory. Okay, this one. Let me just add this path, and let me add dot slash, because we need to add that folder outside this middleware. So for that I'm going to create a folder name that is the uploads, and there we are going to add one condition that hey, fs dot exist sync, okay, uploads directory, and then fs dot mkdir, if it exists then make one directory in sync, and just give it upload directory. And now we are just going to configure multi storage, con storage, and then multer dot disk storage, and let's add the destination. It will be a callback, so let me just add cb. Okay, and then return this cb with first of all null and then upload directory. Let me add the file name. So first one will be underscore, and this is the basic file, and then callback. Okay, and let's return this as, let's const ext path name dot this x name, and then file dot original name, and then a callback which we are taking it in the file name. First of all just add null, and let's add the backlits, this backticks, or what do you say to it. Let's add a dollar. By the way, it is introduced in the ES6, and then date dot now, and then add the dollar. Let me add for you math dot random dot toString. Okay, and in the toString I'm going to add not extend like above 36 dot slice 2, and let me add ext over there. Okay, like after the brace. Okay, slice 2 over here. Let's add ext. Okay, something like this, and just save the file. And now you can add the const file something like this filter, and let's add underscore file cb, and over here you add the console log for ourself. So I'm going to like add a file in the capital case. Let's write file filter, and it will be file dot original name and file dot mime type. And if let me add file dot mime type dot starts with, okay, dot starts with, and if it starts with image slash, then cb null, otherwise and it's true, the second argument is true, and then cb dot new error, otherwise just throw only images are allowed. Second argument should be false. And let me just add another thing which is its last thing. So let's now upload multer. First of all give it the storage, give it to the files filter, give it limits, not more than this amount of file sizes we are going to accept. So now it is file size 50 into 1024 into 1024, so it will be around, I think, okay, it is 50 MB. So let me just add it for you as a comment section and just default export, just export this default as upload. Okay, yeah, that's it guys. We have created the upload.js. Now the point is how we are going to use this. Okay, so we are going to use this while adding the cars. If I just show you the car route, let me just add it over here. So while uploading the cars, I need something, okay, a middleware kind of upload. Okay, let me see if we have exported it properly. So yeah, we have added that. Let me just import it manually. Upload from dot slash dot slash middleware and then slash upload.js. Over here I'm going to like give it as an array, like add the method array, and over here just write images and just write the number. So in this case I'm just going to write a 5. Okay, so now this part is now done. So there is one more thing that we need to make sure that. So for that, let's add the controller for actually uploading the images. So now I'm just going to make it generic media.controller.js. Just take any function and just copy paste it so that we don't have to waste our time. Give it a name, upload media. Okay, and over here just add upload images, upload. Okay, so I think we don't have that service yet, so we need to actually make that service. So I'm going to create one service, upload.service.js, and over here I'm going to call one write one function, export const upload images is equal to async, and we are getting the files. So let's say in my case the images are 5, so 5 files I'll be getting. So let's add files, and if we don't have files, or let's say files.length length is equal to 0, we need to throw new error, and that is no images were uploaded, and then space. And inside this I'm going to add upload await promise all. We need to add all those images to be on the Cloudinary. So let's add files.map one by one. It's going to be the async and async function. So let's destruct, add the parameter files. Let's return this something like this, and just wait, get your result in this variable result. Let's await Cloudinary. Okay, so now we need to import that, import something from /config. Let's say from /config/cloudinary.js, and I'm just going to add Cloudinary. So let's wait for this Cloudinary dot uploader dot upload. You get the method. Okay, now just write file dot path file dot. Okay, it's taking files because we have written files. No, because we are mapping the file, so we should get the file only. So let's add the file and then path. Okay, file path. And over here I'm going to add one public IDs. So result dot public _ID. Okay, yeah, Now just add a return statement and add small cloudinary dot URL, and then give that public ID. And now for the small one, I'm going to give a width will be 200, crop will be fill. Okay, just like drag this for 3 times. Now give a media like medium, medium, yes, something like this. Give the width at least 600, give the large key, give comma and add 1200. Okay, now over here return this, and I'm going to add a thumbnail. Thumbnail will be uploads of 0th index. Okay, so that is going to be our thumbnail. So inside that thumbnail we'll get the 0th index of upload array. Okay, and for the gallery we will be getting the array for except 0 we'll be getting everything. So let me add that. For the gallery part we'll do upload dot slice 1. So we don't need 0th because we have taken it for the thumbnail. So if I'm uploading 5 images, so the 0th will be for the thumbnail. We'll be getting the small, medium, large for that separately, and for the gallery we'll be getting the 4 different images. And let me just rename it to the uploads because it is the singular. It is not the singular, it's the plural. Okay, so for this I've added this upload. Okay, so I think this is now done. So let me just quickly add it over here. Upload service. Okay, upload images actually. Yeah, so now once we have added this, okay, let me just like add a clear response. So if it is a successful, then I'm going to add request dot body dot media, and it will be a media. Okay, and instead of result I'm going to add media key, like media variable, and here I'm going to pass it to the next. Okay, and if it fails, then I'm just going to give console.log for us only. Upload failed, we have error. Okay, and inside the return statement we are not going to return anything. I'm just going to pass this status dot JSON, and it will be a 400. Okay, I think status is 400. Okay, status is 400, and the JSON will be this success as a false, and then error as a error dot message. Okay, so I hope you have got this controller. So now we need to do something over here in the routes. Okay, upload array, the images level is 5. So before even this add car controller, we need to add the upload images. So now this will do the thing of uploading it to the Cloudinary via this config, and this will do the work of making one folder of upload and just keeping it over here with the it will rename it, and it will give some timestamp, and it will take this image from here, pass it to this, it will get the files one by one, it will upload, it will divide it in the small, medium, large formats, and it will just upload it to the Cloudinary, where we will see those images in the media library. If I have to just show you, we'll get to see all of those in the media of Cloudinary. Okay, so until it gets load, let me just show you that how we are going to add these images. And also we need to do one thing in the index.js. If you see, we have this index.js, right? So it will not let us upload it, so for this above the API, even above the API, we need to make sure that the chorus is enabled as a cross origin, and we have to add here app.use. Here we get the request, we get the response, we get the next, and over here I'm going to return this, and we are just going to check that, hey, request dot original URL dot includes. Okay, so if it is including, let's say upload, I'm going to change one route. So upload, add, upload, let's say car. You can rename it something like this, or let's say add car. So let's say if it is upload car, so I'm going to just check that if it includes that API slash let's say cars. Okay, we can just write it something like this. Let me just save it and just going to confirm it. Okay, cars we have, and we can just say all the cars route. Yeah, it will be fine. If the route is, let's say, API slash cars and slash, then I'm just going to add next, and in the else block I'm just going to add express.json, and over here I'm going to add one limit, and that limit will be of 1 MB. Okay, and over here let's add the request response and then add one next. Yeah, so now if you see this, that I have added this images key and one photo. Okay, but when I hit this particular route, it is taking some time, and now it is giving me some message, because we also need those fields. Okay, so how you are going to upload this image? By selecting a file type over here, and let me just add the remaining parts. So for the name I'm just going to put AMG, the same one, the Mercedes one, right? But remember guys, if I am passing it via form data, make sure that every field is going via form data. If I am doing it via raw, then image should be converted to the base 64. If I hit enter, then now it is giving me error for the sub info. So now it is the AMG of by Mercedes. Okay, and then we need the price part. CE price will be, let's say 500, let's say 50, and the next thing is that the brand ID. So let me just add the brand ID. Come to the brands table and click on the view all, click on this particular ID and go to the postman. Yeah, over here I'm going to add the brand ID, and let me just add location ID, which is also important. Go to here, copy this ID, and let me just paste location ID and just paste it over here, and now it should be uploaded. So it is still giving us the error. Let me just see it, why it is giving the error. So it is telling that features is missing. Yeah, so let's add that as well. Features, it will be a JSON. Let me just okay, so let me just add this as a JSON. And price invalid, expected a float. Okay, so let me just add 50,000 text still the same. Let me just add the float type here, and now see, expected a float, provided a string. What we can do here is that, so in order to fix this issue, what we can do is, while sending the form data, it treats it as a string. So what we can do is, in the add car, we can go to the service, and over here we can add parse float. Something like this will work. And let me just see it. Okay, so the car is now uploaded. Okay, if you see it, the gallery is empty because I have added only one image. If I add 5 images, then this gallery will be shown to us. And the URL that we have got, which is for the large one, the small one, and this one is the 600 and 200 1200. So let me just click this. Let me just open this link for you guys, and let me just click it over here. Let me just copy this properly and paste it over here, and let me just show you. Okay, so this is the image, and as you can see, if I just refresh my Cloudinary, then you should see all of these images that were uploaded, as well as the VS Code that I have this. So all of the images were taken into this particular folder of car app backend, and then we have uploaded. So yeah, similarly we can do it for the brands. Similarly we can do it for the rest of the things. So this is it, that we upload something to the cloud and then we call it to our controller. So yeah, in this video that's it. Till then, bye bye, stay happy, stay safe, and just do work hard. If you have any issue, just mail me, drop me mail, and I'll just fix it. And yeah, that's it.